just a couple minutes, and John's going to introduce this to you.
Okay, short and sweet, I promise. It's been a long day. Okay, so I'm here to talk to you about data visualizations of combined effects of projected sea level rise, storm surge, and peak river flows in the Skagit floodplain. And for those of you that aren't familiar, the Skagit floodplain is in Skagit County, which is in the northwest corner of Washington, one county down from the Canadian border. And you'll notice that I've emphasized the word visualizations because I think that there's a little bit of a problem with climate science. I believe that there's a little bit of a gap between the discourse that happens around climate science and communicating that with the public in a way that they can understand it. And we at Environmental Science Associates think that the best way to do this is through visualizing that. Lucky for us, another group that had the same kind of idea was the Skagit Climate Science Consortium, or SC Squared. They're a nonprofit group of federal, tribal, municipal, and university minds all getting together and collaborating around climate science. And they wanted to be able to visualize their products a little bit better, all this great scientific research that they had together. So we were lucky enough that they wanted to work with us to help visualize some of their products. And just starting at the high conceptual level of climate change, getting people to understand it, you can deliver the message through a paragraph of text, but I think somebody mentioned earlier, you lose somebody after 140 characters. We're a society that just wants instant gratification, and you can use the ever so buzzwordy infographic to kind of help communicate these a little bit better. And this actually went on one of a summary sheet that we have laid out at the Tools Cafe. Those were really good summary sheets that you had up there too. They looked really good. So we put together a couple of these, trying to just communicate the high level understanding of some of these forces driving climate change in the Skagit floodplain. And then there's always the issue of the data that you get out of modeling. I'm sure all of you are familiar with how clunky some of it can be. It comes out as ASCII files, it comes out as big gridded data sets, and they can be kind of cumbersome to work with, and they're not very appealing to look at. What you're seeing here is really sophisticated Flow2D data that Alan Hamlet and his associate Joe Hammond put together for SC Squared. And it landed in our laps, and what it's representing is flow depths in a 400-foot by 400-foot grid across the Skagit floodplain. And so what we did is we helped visualize it in a way that would be more engaging towards the public. But we didn't stop there. We wanted to give them a way to actually be able to play around with it. That's how we learn, somebody said earlier, is through playing with these things. So by applying an effective stack of technology, we can take this data and we can publish it to the web. And what we developed was a mapping application that allows users to switch between different modeled flood scenarios for predicted sea level rise from current to 2040 to 2080. And you can choose different levee failure scenarios based on left bank or right bank, or all intact. And so people can kind of get this high-level understanding of what's happening around their area, be able to kind of zoom in a little bit to their house and see, oh, that's how much water is predicted to go up. Okay, that's very interesting. Beyond kind of this macro-level understanding, it really kind of helps drive things home when you get people down on the ground and communicate it in a landmark that they would recognize. Here we picked the very scenic Walmart just off of the I-5 corridor in Mount Vernon as a place just that people would recognize in the community. And so instead of, purple on a map, you can see that's what it might actually look like. So we put together a couple of photo visual sims for them as well. That's all I'm going to put up here today. I'll let you guys all go out and experience the Tools Cafe and the poster presentations. But we've got a lot of materials. We've got the application up and running to play with. So if you have any questions, I'd love to talk to you guys more in the Tools Cafe.